other stakeholders of Niger Delta have disallowed the petroleum industry bill which Mr. President Buhari assented to yesterday as passed by the National Assembly, saying the people will speak on the catastrophe and abominable act of Mr. President after full discussions. However, some citizens called for calm, blaming this disastrous affair on Niger Delta lawmakers and governors who did not take appropriate steps to lobby other sections of the country on their position. The regional group, in a statement by the National Publicity Secretary, Honorable Ken Robinson, said the Niger Delta people will speak shortly after full consultations on this callous act on the best legal and political response. It is quite unfortunate that President Muhammadu Buhari went ahead to assent to the petroleum industry bill despite the overwhelming outcry and condemnation that greeted its passage by the National Assembly, especially with regards to the paltry 3% provision for the host communities development trust fund and brazen appropriation of an outrageous 30% of NNPC limited profit for a dubious, nebulous frontier oil exploration fund. This assent by President Muhammadu Buhari simply speaks to the repugnant attitude of disregard propelled by arrogance, disdain, and contempt with which issues concerning the Niger Delta region are treated, particularly by this present administration. What this act signifies is an unequivocal message to the Niger Delta people that how they feel and what they say do not count at all in the schemes of the Nigerian project, that it is insensitive, abominable, and a far every boundary of proper democratic practice, and therefore unacceptable to the good people of the Niger Delta, the critical economic nexus of the entire Nigerian territory. He said, Senator Ovie said it is unfair. Former Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Roland Ovie, expressed disappointment over the signing of PIB as passed by President Muhammadu Buhari, despite opposition to the 3% approved for oil-producing communities, but expressed hope that it will be amended in future to take adequate care of the host areas. He said, well, what do we do? The Benin has a parable that if a man's manhood is unable to perform his function, you cannot use the hand to do it. Since the president has assented to it, all we need to do is to keep what has been done and start working towards an increase of the allocation to the oil-producing communities. If we cannot get it now, the war will not end because of that. If we cannot get what we think is fair from the present government, by the grace of God, we can get it from the subsequent government, because we cannot say because we did not get it now, then it should be reversed since it has been signed into law. Even though that is not what we desire, that is not what our people deserve. It is injustice, but we have to accept because that is the position of the law. We have to be hoping that we will get a review in future under the new legislation. He said, while Buhari speedily gave assent, Honorable Igbodo, ex-rep member, former House of Representatives from Cross River said, Honorable Peter Igbodo informed our source that the bill was hurriedly signed because it favored the north more than the south, where the oil comes from. Igbodo said it was really disheartening that simply because pipeline passed through a community in the north, they have to get paid or receive something, adding that effective representation of our lawmakers at the National Assembly was not fair because they did not represent us well at all. Assault on Niger Delta, Equity People. The Equity People's Congress, IPC Worldwide, in Rivers State, described the signing of the controversial PIB by President Muhammadu Buhari as an assault on the people of oil-rich Niger Delta. Chairman of IPC, Livingstone Wuche, in Port Harcourt, said the president did not give attention to the call by leaders of the region on the need to change the figures and decision of the National Assembly on the said bill. IPC sees the action of President Muhammadu Buhari in going ahead to sign the controversial, highly unpopular and disputed PIB as one of the most grievous assaults on the indigenous people of ethnic nationality of the Niger Delta. IPC view this enactment as a corrosive attack on the interests of the Niger Delta as it affects the notorious bill, which has been seriously questioned, particularly in the face of our demand for resource ownership rights. IPC is worried that the new law is in furtherance to the asset stripping by the Nigerian state, which must devastate the Niger Delta, particularly the oil-producing community, at all costs. Our fear is that this unholy law may wake up a new avoidable season of unrest in the regions. The implication remains that national rebirth and healing will be a long road and an almost impossible journey if the Nigerian government continues to ignore minority questions. My people, do you agree that this PIB that is signed into law will bring about unrest in the Niger Delta? Will that place now be boiling, will start boiling like other regions? We pray this did not happen, because the people that produce this oil deserve what they are asking for. Why is the federal government finding it difficult to increase the percentage? Must the people blessed with natural resources not be able to enjoy what God has given them? Must they continue to go through all they are currently going through without making them happy? Why are they being denied what is due to them? Who do I blame? Is it the federal government or the people from that region who have refused to form a common front to get justice, or those who are sabotaging the effort of those who want this wrong right? Hope this is not another form of corruption. What do you think? One of them said this is unfair. Another one said this is calamity. Another one said nothing to cheer about. The president, another person said the president did no wrong. Will there be change? Will there be a meeting to agree to change this time? Will they get the desires for the region? What is your take? We believe that if the right thing is done, the people will be happy. But my people, what is your take on this new PIB that was just signed? Are you in agreement with what you have? Do you believe the future can increase the percentage? Future government can